Welcome to Displacer Geeks. My name is Brian.
Hey, and this is Hudson.
Did you did you space out there for a second, buddy?
Oh man, people are trying to message me right now. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
you're supposed to cut them off. We got really important things to do.
I know. That's why I was like, what do I do?
Wait a minute. Is it the people that you gamed with today?
No, some other
Oh,
people I
okay.
game with though. They're like, where are you at? I'm like, oh God.
All
It's
right.
not great
So
timing.
so everybody, welcome. We're here to talk gaming stuff. And conveniently enough, today Hudson played a game of something that might be right behind him.
Yeah, I did. I played Warhammer Fantasy Role-Playing Game. It is a tabletop role-playing game.
I'm excited to pick your brain on this because you know I love Warhammer stuff. I love
Yep.
Warhammer lore, even though I know people complain about it. But the world's dark, the world's cool. I have never
Yep.
played this system, so I'm very excited to hear about it. So first off, do you know how long Rollhammer, like, oh, there's a name for you, Rollhammer Fantasy? No, fantasy role playing Warhammer has been around?
A while. A
Has it
while.
really?
Yeah. I'd have to look up the original copyright, but I want
Oh,
to
that's okay.
say the first edition was in the 90s.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Or
Do you know what edition you're playing now?
fourth
Oh,
edition.
cool.
So
Awesome. So, question for you. First off, how long have you been playing this system?
I'd have to look at the dates, but it's been a minute. It was pre-COVID, so we've been playing like
Oh,
five
yeah,
years, yeah, or
quite a
something
while.
like it. Yeah,
Quite a while. It's a D100 percentile this system, right?
yeah, yeah. It is.
Okay.
That is correct. It is skilled based. You buy all your increments, all your skill increments, and your base stat increments, and this version in 1% increments.
In 1% increments. All right. Do you roll low? Is that the goal? Is you try to roll under your stat?
Yep. So
Okay.
if you have a weapon skill of 43%, you want to get 43 or less.
I mean, there is something nice about that for new role players, honestly. It's
Hmm.
pretty simple. If you got a 75, you want 75 or less. Like that is pretty cool.
Yeah. It's pretty clear cut. The other thing is that I think this game does that's nice in the mechanics. Why you can't be laughing at me? That's
I know, I know. You may have mumbled some words, just a few.
okay. So what is nice about this mechanic is something is that like a standard roll is like an average roll is actually like a plus 20 to your stat bonus. Like
Oh, okay. All
so if
right.
it's supposed to be just like a basic thing, you just automatically have a plus 20.
No, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Is it a super detailed system?
Yeah, it gets into the weeds.
Does it really?
Yeah, it's
All right.
if you were going to talk pros and cons, here's your first con. It is
Okay.
very detailed, which means it can be very clunky.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
To keep the game going smooth, do you guys just kind of house rule stuff on the fly, or do you stop and look up stuff?
We a lot of times just house rule stuff on the fly, and there's some stuff we just kind of like gloss over because otherwise we'd be taking 10 minutes to do it.
Oh, yeah. All right. So really, even though the percentile thing is good for a new role player, maybe this game wouldn't be the greatest for a brand new to role playing game.
It's no, probably not. It
Okay.
is this can be very number crunchy. And if you don't like math, that's not your game. It's
Got
not
the
your game.
giggles again.
Yeah, no,
Not my game. Yeah, I'm not good at math, by the way.
yeah.
Can you play different races? Can I be like a
Yes.
Skaven person? Okay.
Uh,
Or is it,
so you'd like if you wanted to do like a monster race, like Skaven or orcs or goblins or something of that nature, you would want to do a campaign centered around that,
oh, okay.
right? So everybody would be orcs and goblins or Skaven or whatever.
All right.
Uh,
Everyone's
the base,
destruction or
yep, the
okay.
base game, there's I think like a couple variants of elves. There's humans, dwarves, and halflings.
Fun. So you're kind of like the cities of Sigmar. Do they talk about that at all?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the great things about this. This is a very well-defined history background.
Can you be a Stormcast? Are they too
Uh,
powerful?
you probably could work your way into it,
Oh, okay.
but
That's
right.
fun.
So you wouldn't necessarily start out like that. So it does have a job system. So you can be like the city
Interesting.
watch. Yep. You can be the city watch.
Huh.
And then after you've progressed far enough in the city watch, you can use your experience to buy the next tier and become like a city watch sergeant, which
Cool.
gives you access to new skills that you can learn and what they call talents, which D&D terms would be like a feat.
Okay.
Okay. So you could get a talent, and that would allow you to, give you some additional new abilities potentially.
Awesome. Awesome. So that seems fairly unique in a way.
Right.
Any other unique mechanics or anything like that for this game system?
Uh, we this is one of those rules we kind of glossed over because it gets really kind of like a steamroller in a way. It also gets very adds to the
Excuse
math.
me.
It also adds to the math, and it is a momentum mechanic. What? No, you can't
I
giggle at
don't know.
momentum.
If you say math, do I laugh? What is going on with me? Okay. Sorry.
I'm not saying anything
No,
else.
I know
Math,
you're there's nothing. I just
yeah,
know I'm not supposed to laugh. So of course I'm gonna start laughing.
right.
Yep.
But the yeah, it has a momentum mechanic. So like if you
Oh,
hit,
really?
yeah, you get like a plus 10. And that momentum
That's cool.
keeps, yeah, it is cool, but it keeps going and it can keep stacking and stacking and stacking.
Wow. Can it go to like 100?
I don't remember if there's a cap
Okay.
because we got to the point where people were getting like 3 and 4 stacks,
Ooh.
which means at 4 stacks, you had a plus 40,
Jeez.
right?
So you're
And
gonna get plus 50 next, you would think.
yeah, but the thing is a plus 40 to hit, that's a lot.
Yeah. That
That's a
is
lot.
a heck
It's
of a
also
lot. 40%.
That's a yeah. Now there's ways for the enemies to break that, right? If they hit you and damage you, you lose that mechanic stack or that momentum stack. And then you have to
Okay.
start back over, right? Oh, I got my mug too.
Nice.
That's no, you had the cup. You had the plastic cup. The
Oh, you got startled and looked up. That can't be a good sign.
yeah. Yeah, well that's
Demogorgon?
maybe Gorg. Oh my god. No, I actually have a monitor. It's up. So like sometimes I get alerts. I was getting alerts on that. I was like, oh God, what's going on?
Getting so distracted.
I'm
Jeez.
so distracted. I'm
You're supposed to
terrible
be
today.
professional like me.
Super professional.
That's right.
Math.
See?
Math.
I hated math growing up, so I don't know what the deal is.
I don't
Maybe
hate
I'm crying
math.
inside. I don't know.
I did enjoy algebra or calculus, but that's a pretty like that's almost not math anymore. That's like just
Yeah.
magic with letters.
Yeah, and they push every kid to it too. It's just like,
Yes.
oof,
It's terrible.
torture,
Terrible.
torture, torture.
Um
So, yeah, I kind of got you sidetracked there. Any other cons of the game at the moment that you think of?
I mean, besides being kind of clunky, it gets really, really into the weeds, what I was talking about,
Okay.
which leads to some of that clunkiness. For
Okay.
example, like if you just wanted to be like a normal, like sword and board guy, to use a shield, you have to take a special skill. You have to take a talent,
Okay.
like 2 talents even, just to even
Ooh.
have like it is. I'm like, this is really resource intensive
So not just a shield
for
skill. That's like,
yeah.
ooh,
A
okay.
shield skill, like 2 talents to be
Wow.
semi-effective. And I was just like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like,
that's interesting.
yeah.
Huh. Okay, well, how about pros? Oh,
One
my
pro.
nose.
Okay, so a mechanic that comes to mind that I thought was kind of fun. If you're not really sure what to play, you can just, it has a lot of tables just to generate everything randomly.
Oh, that's fun.
Okay, yeah, which is fun, but what's cool about it is it rewards you for doing that. You get
Interesting.
bonus, yep, you get bonus XP for every time you just take the random roll.
Hmm.
So you can just roll your race randomly and you get a bonus for taking the random race.
Huh.
And you can also just take a
Interesting.
penalty. You can also take a penalty,
Yeah.
or not a penalty. You just don't get the bonus, I guess. And then you can like, I'm going to be an elf. So, or a dwarf.
Nice.
So, and then the
And
world,
oh, go ahead.
one of the other cons is if you're into like dark, gritty fights, this is a game. If you have a lot of wounds, it's like 22. You can get some pretty big hits. Like 22 is pretty hard to do in one, but and you don't heal it right
But
away. So if you get in back-to-back fights, it's really hard to.
so generalizing it more though, is it like quick, brutal combat or is it slow?
Combat can be slow like D&D,
Okay.
right? But
Okay.
it is can be very brutal.
Do they have a lot
We
of if you're injured, do your stats go down and that kind of thing?
if you get a critical injury, so
Oh, okay.
there's a couple different ways that can happen.
Okay.
Straight up just regular crit will do it. Like if you roll a critical, which is doubles on the dice and a success.
All right.
Also, if you roll doubles on the dice and it's a failure, it's a crit fail.
Okay.
And double zero is 100, always a fail.
Hmm.
Uh, it
Okay.
does have the auto success like D&D with 1, 0, 1 through 0, 5.
All right.
Like those are
Cool.
automatic successes. So
So it says Grim on that book behind you. Is it when you get injuries, is there like charts where you can get your arms and stuff chopped off?
yep.
That seems like that seems like a Warhammer thing to me for sure.
So for example, in today's adventure, I came charging in and I hit a guy and I did a critical injury. I hit him in his weapon arm and I wrenched it, I think, on the table. I
Okay.
wrenched it, which basically meant he couldn't use his arm for that combat until
That's
he got
awesome.
medical treatment. He was out of the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
One hit,
brutal.
done.
Woo. That stuff's brutal. I mean, it's
You
fun, but you got to be in the right mindset if you're going to play
Yep.
in that type of system for sure.
And if you fight offhanded, I think it's at least a -10. Like if you
Yeah.
use your offhand, it might even be higher.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha. Awesome. Um,
um,
well, how was the session itself? Any fun, ridiculous thing that happens? We need a story here,
we
Hudson.
do, and boy, do I have a story for you
All right,
guys.
go
Not
for it.
me. I was a very sensible character. We had this other guy who decided that he got a shield with spikes on it. He thought it was the greatest thing ever, and he was determined to use it.
Okay.
There was many ways he could have determined to use it, but this is how he determined to use it. He climbed a tree. And when I
Okay.
say he
Okay.
climbed a tree, he didn't climb any tree. He found like a 30-foot tree,
I love where this is going because when I think spike shield, I think climb a tree.
right? So then he waited for the people that we were trying to ambush to walk underneath him. And then he jumped out of the tree from 30 feet, mind you,
Is he a
trying to
human?
land on, yeah, he was human,
Oh
trying to
no.
land on him like shield first.
Yeah. How'd it go?
Well, he managed to hit the target.
Okay.
He did, remember when I said 22 was a lot? He did 40 damage to the target.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
So he succeeded there. All right. Okay.
Yep.
Got it. Got it.
Apparently the hit location was the head. So the character was killed. The character was also riding a horse. The
Oh,
the guy running the game is like, okay, the horse is also dead. Okay, now we're gonna roll for damage on you. He's like, okay. He goes, okay, so you're gonna take 22 points of damage
Oh,
in the right arm. He goes, okay, well, I only have 16 hit points. He's like, hey, this is gonna be fun. So we're gonna roll in the critical hit table, right? But since you took 6 beyond your max wounds, you're gonna get a plus 60 on the critical hit table. He just like didn't like remove it or like completely lost use of it, but he destroyed it. He had 2 bleeding conditions. Uh completely like wrecked his arm, like it was like useless, right? And it like so he's lying on the ground, his arm's completely useless, and he's bleeding out at 1, well, 0 or 1 HP, you know, like he wasn't on, he managed to somehow stay conscious during this too. I don't ask me.
laying down on the ground like Family Guy style when they're unconscious and that.
Yeah, he was just he was conscious. So then he's like trying to figure out how to bandage himself and like trying to get help. In the meantime, there was 2 other people in this fight because everybody else was like spread out. Each of us were fighting 4 guys at the same time, so nobody was like going to be able to help him.
if if only I could like quickly animate something, that would be the best thing in the world. Maybe I need to look at AI stuff and have it animate that for me.
It
Guy
is,
jumps out of a tall tree with a spike shield, lands on a
right?
dude's head, kills a horse, but also mutilates his own arm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's glorious.
So we even got like a few days down the road in the adventure. So his arm is still like, to use his arm is still minus 10%. Any
Excuse me.
activity he uses that arm is minus 10%.
That's awesome.
It is. I'm like,
That is
oh my
awesome.
gosh, that is, yeah. Let's see if did we do anything else crazy? Oh,
I got,
the
oh, go
priest,
ahead.
the priest of Sigmar summoned a comet.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
we were chasing a witch, and she was trying to fly away. He summoned a comet and hit her.
Awesome.
Not only did like there was like this giant explosion when the comet hit her, falling out of the sky. Um, she caught fire and fell to the ground.
Awesome.
She died when she hit the ground. Like there was a lot of
And also
yeah, there was a lot of falling in this one.
also sounds very Warhammery. Giant comet hits a witch on the ground.
Hits a witch out of the sky.
That's
She falls
awesome.
flaming to the ground.
Yeah, that's amazing. Man, you gotta love role-playing games.
Yeah,
You can't
you
make
don't,
the jumping out of a tree shield spike thing up, right?
you
That is
cannot. And
that is awesome.
games, games that would allow you to do something like that wouldn't dare, like a video game wouldn't dare penalize you for it, right?
Yeah,
So there's
yeah,
like the whole Dark Souls thing, and like no, if you do, it's basically the same tactic that I just described, but if you land it, you don't take any damage, but you do a
yeah.
whole bunch of extra bonus damage.
Sure, sure. Kind of the
Like,
superhero immunity type of deal.
yeah,
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome, awesome.
so yep,
Well, you got anything else? Wait, I do have one other question. Have you ever
yep.
ran into any Nurgle stuff in Warhammer? Because Nurgle's like my favorite thing in the world.
I don't think we have in this game, but we haven't ran into a lot of demons. I think we've ran
Okay.
into like one pink horror.
Oh, all right. Okay. Well,
Like
tell
that's it.
your DM to get on it. I mean, it should be all based around Nurgle, for goodness sakes.
Oh, he would love that. Uh, I think we're going to start running into some more Zinch stuff though.
Ooh,
If
that'll
I'm
be
following this story,
funky.
yeah.
It's super messed up stuff. Nice.
Mm.
Awesome, awesome.
All
Well, I think
right.
that wraps it up, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Nice. Well, thanks for the conversation. Everybody out there, please like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you next time.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.